Good day, everyone. My name is John, and I'm here today to give a tutorial on one of my favorite card games. I affectionately call it Shithead, and I've heard it called that in a bunch of other places. It also has been called Shit Boots, Palace, and a score of other names. It is a very well-known, and I feel fairly famous, travelers, backpackers, hitchhikers kind of game. I think that's how it got kind of spread around as much as it did. I think one of the first times I seen it was a friend of mine, and the second time was in a hostel where a group of us ended up starting to play it. It's a wonderful game. I encourage everybody, again, who likes cards to play this. And just know that this is just my particular set of rules for it, my own unique variation that I'm giving a demonstration on. And I like to start by just showing how the game is actually started after giving it a shuffle, which I already have. You start by dealing 3 cards face down to each player. You then deal 6 more cards, and this forms the player's starting hand. With these cards, you need to choose any 3 and lay them face up on top of your bottommost cards. Each player will actually take a turn to do that. I'm just going to lay out these. Each player turn. And when the cards are assigned, your bottom 3, your face up top 3, and then the 3 remaining in your hand. Good way to remember is the rule of 9, 3, 3, and 3. Once these are laid out, the dealer on the first hand, and this only applies to the first hand, will flip up 1 card to start a deck. And this is where players are going to play out their cards to. Play is fairly simple. You and your opponent will play equal to or higher than what is here on this deck. When I say equal to, I mean another 4, or in the case of a 5, it would be another 5. But whatever it is equal to what's shown, or a higher value, a number that comes higher. The hierarchy of the cards, from lowest to highest, is the 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, Jack, Queen, King, and Ace, which is the highest. You're going to get used to these really easily because you're probably not going to be paying too much attention to these, and anyone who's ever played cards probably know that 2 starts on the lower end, Ace tends to be the highest, and everything in between is just their numerical value. So that's very straightforward. You do probably notice now there's a couple cards missing, and I'm going to refer to those in just a little bit. But right now, just know that 4 is the lowest and Ace is the highest. So players will take turns going back and forth playing cards. You will start each turn by drawing a card first. Anyone that's played Shithead already probably may do this, but a lot of the cards I played, the hands I played, some of the online ones and other, they don't always draw the card first. My variation, it works better when you do. So I tell people, and this is the one thing most people tend to have the most trouble with, is getting into the habit of drawing cards first. So my opponent, because I dealt, he is going to play first. He has drawn his first card, and now he's going to play, most likely, one of his lower numbers. It's now my turn. Same thing. I draw a card first. I look at what I have, and then I play a card. I played something equal to what was already showing. And this is going to go back and forth. Each player is going to make a play. On this opponent's turn, he's actually going to play both of his 5s. The reason is, in my Cutthroat and many others, sorry, I called that Cutthroat, I meant Shithead. The reason is, in my Shithead and a few others, is that there's no difference between playing 1 card, a pair of cards, 3 of something, or even all 4 of something. It's fine. And I should also state that suits don't matter in this game. Don't worry about what your suits are. It doesn't matter. We're only going by the numbers. So, just one more time, you can play 1 card, you can play a pair of something, you can play triples, you can play all 4. Not going to matter. That being said, you also can split pairs sometimes, but that's something that comes with time as you start playing more. So my opponent played his pair of 5s, and you may notice now that he actually has 2 cards remaining in his hand. The minimum cards you can hold as long as the draw pile is still in play, before we get to the bottom of it, is 3 cards. So the second he played 2, he needs to replenish back up to 3. It goes back to my turn. I pick a card, I make my play, my opponent takes his card, makes his play, and this will go back and forth until, well, until all the cards are gone. My opponent now is going to play a pair of 9s, because he has 2 9s, and not really worth keeping. And again, because he's going to be less than 3, he's actually going to have to replenish back up to 3. Just like I'm about to do now. I'm going to play a pair of jacks. I am now short 1 card, and now I'm going to pick another one. My opponent goes again. Draw first. He's going to play his jack, and now it's my turn. Now, what you've probably noticed now is that I have 3 cards that are not better than a jack. Well, actually, all 4 of them are not really better than jack, but I'm going to get to you in a second. So what happens when you can't play a high card? What happens when you eventually get to an ace high and there's no card higher than an ace? Well, that's when these next 4 cards come to play, the ones that were missing originally. There are 4 cards, which I call power cards in this. I think they're commonly called power cards, rule cards, or special cards and other variations that have effects. This is very common across all shithead types of games. In this particular variation, we use the 2, the 3, the 8, and 10 of any suit. And these are denoted as our power cards. Each one does something special, and I'll start with the lowest one, a 2. The 2 is a free play for the person who laid it. If so, or insofar, on my turn now, you may have noticed that I actually had a 2, a 5, a 6, and 7. On this turn, I'm going to play a 2. This is a free play. And because it's a free play, it means I can literally lay anything after it. Well, any one thing after it, or a pair if I had it. This is the power of a free play. It's quite what it says. It's a free play. There are other cards that are power. The 3 is a match card. It will match anything that is played on. In this case, it's being played on a jack. It's now matching a jack. The next player will play on, well, the jack. The 8, a lot of people's favorite card, is less than 8. You do exactly what that says. You now, on the next turn, so I'm playing this now to my opponent. My opponent on this turn now has to play a card that is less than 8. For that turn only. Cannot play a queen. A queen is not less than 8. The last one is a 10. The 10 is a clear card. Immediately, when a 10 gets played, you take the deck, and you toss it away. The person that played it then has to start a new deck. So if you clear it, you have to restart. This is what's nice about 10. I will put a little credit in here. The only thing that stops the 10, because it is so blindingly powerful, is that a 10 is not less than 8. So if you have one of these, despite how powerful it is, you will not be able to play it on an 8. These are our 4 power cards. Generally when I teach, no, I shouldn't say generally, always when I teach someone how to play this, I usually get a sticky note, an envelope, piece of paper, something, a scrap paper somewhere near me, and what I'll do is I will take it and I will write down 2, 3, 8, and 10, free play, match, less than, and clear, just as a little reminder. I find after 2 or 3 hands, most people tend to get familiar with these 4 cards because it really is just these 4 cards. And you probably won't need it, but if this is the first time playing, 2, 3, 8, and 10 marked down on a little sticky note will probably save you a bit of trouble in remembering and gives you something to refer to. So, back to this game here. My opponent played me a pair of jacks. So I am now going to take the chance and play my 2. And this gives me a free play. This allows me to play anything I want from my hand. Because I am going to be less than 3 cards, I'm actually going to draw first, just like you would any other time. And then I'm going to make my play. My opponent will now carry on, play it on that 5. He's going to play a 6. I draw my card. I'm going to play my 6. He's going to play his 7. Comes back to me. That's pretty nice. I'm going to play my 7. And this is going to go back and forth. Ooh, he has a pair of queens. He's now 1 card less than all 3 for his hand. He's going to pull the last card. Perfect. And now it's my turn. And I am going to play all 3 because, as I said before, playing a single card, 2 cards, 3 cards, or all 4 has no bearing in this game. Suits don't mean nothing. So I'm just going to play all 3, and that's it. So my cards are now out of my hand. I have no cards left. My opponent's going to get his turn first because that was my play, and he's going to play his pair of aces. So what do you do now when you have no cards in your hand? Well, that's when these come into play. You notice I completely omitted them up to this point, and that is because they don't get touched until this draw pile, that's no longer here, is gone, until there's no more cards in your hand. What you can do then is that you can pick any card showing to play. In this case, I'm going to make the easy choice and play my ace. My opponent's now going to lead with his 2, because this is the last card that was in his hand, and he had to play the card in his hand first, and now he can play anything he wants. I'm going to have him play the 3. The 3, if you remember, matches what is played on. It's matching the 2, which is a free play, so it's a free play, so he's going to go again. And now he's going to play his queen. Now, on this queen, I had to play my 2, my 10, or, because this card is no longer covered, I can now actually choose this one. It's risky, though, because if I pick this card and I look at it, and I see what it is, I'm basically saying that this is the card I'm going to choose. And this is now the card in my hand. It's good if these 2 cards don't work. If this was, say, a less than 8 and that was a king, and these 2 cards couldn't play, instead of getting stuck, I could at least gamble on this one. And then it's in my hand. I have nice cards here, so I don't actually have to do that. I'm going to actually clear this. And the pile's gone. And now I can pick anything I want. Now I'm probably going to take a better chance and pick something from the bottom of those cards. My opponent can do the same thing. He can pick blind, or he can take one of the easy ones. He's going to take one of the easy ones. I'm going to play a free play. Same as a free play. And now I cleared the deck. My cards are out. I have no cards left. I have no cards showing. I win. My opponent is now the shithead. I am now the king of the shits. And you deal a new hand. And that's all there's to it. This is the game. This is all the game is. It's very straightforward. It's very quick. When you get very, very good, it's easy to play this game in about a minute. And I love it. I love this game. That's one of my favorites. That was a stacked deck, in case anyone was wondering. I had all the hearts plucked out because I was wanting to use those for demonstration. I will say there's a couple of little things I wanted to point out in this game. Is that I did make a point of saying you can play 3... I said a single, a pair, 3 of a kind, or 4 of a kind. In this game here, there is one extra little thing I wanted to point out, and it's that a 4 of a kind actually acts as another clear. Basically, it's a 10. So usually on my scrap of paper, I also put X4 next to the 10, and both of them account for clear. The gag is, this has to be played in order, so you can play kings on a queen. You could not play kings on an ace. So you had to keep that in mind. 2, if your opponent plays 2, you can play 1, they can play 1. As long as all 4 are together, then it still counts as clear. Whoever laid the last card, be us or him, will actually play it. I will also say a 3, while it matches a king, or, well, anything really, in this scenario a king, while it does match, it's not taking the place of matched king, so this is not a 4 of a kind. If then somebody laid another one, the 3 can tie them all together, but it didn't act as another one. So this is still going to be a 4 of a kind clear, because the 3 is connecting them. But the 3 itself was not going to be another pseudo-king in this example. So that is the 5 powers. You have your 2, 3, 8, and 10. And the 4 of a kind for a clear. That essentially is that's Shithead in a nutshell. It's a great game. I recommend everybody play it. I will keep my email and other things in the description, so that if there's any other questions, you can comment on or email me directly, and I'll try to get back to you. I'm going to do another few videos that's going to talk about some of the other little nuances of the game, just to add some clarity. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this. I hope you enjoy my game, or well, my variation of the game. It's not my game. And again, yeah, have fun. Take care. See ya.